Okay, part 3 of my tarot collection on the go. I probably don't have to say anything about this deck. It is beloved by many, me included. I made this pouch, I made this cloth. I love this deck, period. This is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm, and it is special, and there's a hair. So you can, yeah, there's proof that I used this deck. There was one of my hairs kind of wrapped around one of the cards. It is just amazing. If you kind of take the time to connect with these creatures, with these fae, they have so much to tell you. So, gosh, I love this. This is one of the inspirations for this cloth, actually, like color-wise. Can we just for a second stare at this emperor? Holy cow. I just love this deck, this star card. Oh my god. Yeah. I will move on, otherwise I will I don't know. I will get lost in the cards, but I just love this deck so much. What can I say? It's just the way it is. Oh my god, I will have to clean up so much later on. Here's another one of my favorites. Another one that I don't use too regularly, but it comes out every once in a while, just because I just love this deck. And it is a very comforting deck. And I think this is why I don't use it all the time, because I don't always need someone to comfort me. But every once in a while I do. And then this deck is just perfect. So this is the Tarot of Transformation. And it's just, oh, I have a complete walkthrough of this deck up on my channel. It was one of my very first videos when I held like my camera in my hand all the time. So it's quite shaky, and there's a lot of oh in this video, which I still do. I don't apologize. But yeah, so if you want to see the cards more up close, and like if you want to see all of them, just simply, oh my god, I just love this star. I love it. Then go to the other video is what I wanted to say. I love this deck. It is, again, so comforting. It's like if you're having a problem and you want someone to take you by the hand and give you the courage to kind of confront your fears and your issues, and to stay with you there, and to really give you the feeling of company and of reassurance, then this deck is the one. It's just, oh, too beautiful. Here I have another deck that I love. I've wrapped it a lot. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the deck of the Bastard. Yes, it is. So it's by Tarot by 7, I think, is the name. And she kind of bastardized a couple decks and aged them. As you can see, there is a mix of the Eteilla, the Soprafino, and Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And it's just beautiful, and it just brings me joy. This is one of those decks where whenever I look at it, it just makes me happy instantly. That's just, I think it kind of goes very well with the idea of, like, the stereotype of, I don't know, a fortune teller. Like the ones that, as a kid, if you saw a gypsy in your mind and kind of, I know it's not how it is. I know that, and it's very stereotypical, and I apologize if I am kind of insulting anyone right now, but it's just, as a kid, you somehow, at least I did, grow to an image of kind of the story, the fortune-telling gypsy in a caravan, with a lot of golden bling and skirts and stuff like that. I know it's not how it is. I know, I'm sorry. This is just, again, the image that I had. And this is like a deck that I would imagine to be used at that point. So I think this is why it makes me so happy. It kind of plays into this child memory, child image of myself. So I think this is just how it is, and I hope I did not insult anyone. It wasn't my intention. This is another deck that is on my maybe trading list, because it's another one where I love the images, but it is a bit too busy for my liking. So I'm having a hard time in a reading to really kind of find the main focus point, and so to kind of extract the meaning that I need at that point from the card. So I don't know if it's just like that because I need to work with this deck a bit more, or if it's just going to be like that forever. If it's going to be like that forever, I have to trade it because it's too beautiful to be in the hands of someone who simply don't use it. So it's just stunningly blue. Oh, it's the Roots of Asia. It's the German version of the Roots of Asia, and it's just beautiful. It has one of the most beautiful death cards I have ever seen. But again, there are so many stunningly beautiful cards in there. God, I love it. It kind of follows a Rider-Waite-Smith structure, but also added a lot of, I mean, here, look at this death card. Oh my God. It added a lot of kind of Buddhistic elements and Zen elements into it. So, oh, and it doesn't come with this box. It came, I think it came with a tuck box, but I think I threw away the tuck box a long time ago. So I made this box for it, just so you know. Here's the Animal Totem Tarot. I cannot tell you anything about this deck other than I liked what I saw. Like, I like the images in other, like, that I saw online or in different videos. I liked what people said about this deck. I actually haven't really worked with it, so I cannot really talk about it that much. It came in one of those huge old Llewellyn boxes. I don't know if it would still come like that. I don't know if they changed their packaging. But when I got it, it came in those huge Llewellyn boxes, so I got rid of that and I made the box. I keep it in now. So that's just the Animal Totem Tarot. Next one. First wooden box. This is the Pagan Otherworld. I still have the tuck box because I actually really like this one, but it isn't like sturdy enough, so I keep it in a wooden box. Again, I love what they did here. I love the images. Whenever I read with it, it felt very neutral in tone to me and kind of easy to read. It's very easy to the eye. It's very, again, very neutral, actually. So I think it's one of those decks that you can easily combine with other decks to get kind of different voices in a reading. I haven't worked with it enough to give you like a thorough review of this deck, I have to say, though. So I love the cardstock. I was quite impressed with it. I like the design of the tuck box. I'm not too impressed that it came with a tuck box. I thought being published the way it was would kind of ensure that there's a better box with it. But then again, that's just the way it is. This one is the Darkness of Light Tarot. And I actually think I probably stuck it into this box that I didn't make this box. It's an old box that my phone came in actually. So I simply painted it, and I think I probably put the cards in there before the paint would dry fully. So there are now, can you see that? There are some kind of patches there, but because I already edged it black, I will simply cover that up, and so everything will be fine. So This is the Darkness of Light Tarot, and it's beautiful. It also has, I haven't worked with it like enough to really dive deep with it. But it also has kind of a neutral tone. So I think this probably would be lovely to pair with either the Fountain Tarot or the Pagan Otherworld to kind of get a kind of two sides of the story reading. So I need to try that out because it just has darker images. It's not a dark deck at all. It doesn't feel like a dark deck to me, at least. But it has just visually darker images. So I really like it. I really like what I see. So that's the Darkness of Light Tarot. Let's put this here because I'm running out of space to my left. This one is a deck that I got kind of quite recently, and I got it on a whim. It's not as if I'm like 110% in love with this deck, but it was just so cheap and kind of cute. It just is cute. It's a cute deck. It's the Tarot House deck, and it just is, you can see, kind of medieval images, a bit childlike drawing, like not too elaborate, and it is kind of pippish, although like you can get your messages like from the arrangement. Like, for example, what I love in the cups is that the tree differs in regards of its blooming or getting leaves or being in full bloom. Like, so I really like that. Same for the swords, where it gets more stormy every once in a while. I love the Major Arcana cards. Again, it's I just love it. The court cards are sometimes a bit harder to really get at first glance. Thankfully, there is the name written under it, because they're a bit, I don't know the English word, androgyn? So sometimes it's hard to discover whether or not you're looking at a female or a male, for the queen and the king especially. But other than that, actually I like it. I like this deck. Again, here you don't really know, is it a female or is it a male? Who knows? And in the end, it doesn't really matter, does it? So, ooh, these cards stick together. The star. I also edged this deck like this Empress. So it's very simple in a way, but I just love it. I like it. It's cute. I edged it kind of in a more marbly way, because this is just the way I think that suited the backs the most. So again, the Tarot House Tarot. It's by, let's see, Simply Tarot, Patricia B. House. So, I need to stack it here again. I don't have enough room to my left. Next one. This is the Margaret Peterson Tarot. I love this one. I'm one of those people who really loves this deck. I edged it, as you can tell, and it would look even better if I just shuffled it. So that not all the yellow cards were stuck together. Let's quickly do that. I mean, this is already a very long video. It doesn't really matter, right? So this looks better. So I just love this. It's very evocative. It's very intuitive. It's very, I love it. I love the use of color. I love the use of style. I love the use of kind of, like structure. There's no, structure isn't the right word. I'll come back to it once I remember the right word. There are a lot of things hidden in the cards that you don't really see at first glance, like, for example, the eye here, like the face, actually, and the snake. So it's just, I love this deck, period. Really, really, really love this deck. So gorgeous. And I love the book that came with it. So, by the way, I etched this and trimmed this because I had the version where there was a border at the back. So I simply cut off the whole border from the back and ended up with this, and I actually love it. I would have wanted to trim it anyways because I just think that these pictures look so great without borders. Oh, Izzy is so cute. I need to cuddle her for just a second. Okay, enough. This is the Antique Anatomy. You all know how much I love the Antique Anatomy, period. I haven't used it in a bit now, but my feelings haven't changed for this deck. I still love it. It's just beautiful. Again, one of those decks that simply make me happy. It's still kind of related to moon related, at least to me, or astrology related readings. So anything that is about cycles, anything that is, I don't know. Actually, I could use it for everything, but I somehow rather kind of reach for it whenever I'm doing a reading, like on a full or a new moon or something like that. Love this deck. I just love it. Gorgeous. Oh, I love this Emperor. And I love the corresponding Empress as well, but I don't know whether or not we passed it already. So yeah, still love this deck. Haven't used it that much. Never going to give it away. Oh, don't say never. Right now, I'm not going to give it away. Next one is another one that I got quite recently. It's the Byzantine Tarot. Byzantine, I think. I don't know. Oh, God. I put it into this wooden box because it came with a huge box. And I don't want to keep it in there. And I edged it golden. And I don't know why it doesn't come like that. Because, I mean, it screams for a golden edge. I don't know why I am so drawn to this deck right now. I really don't understand it. Because I'm usually not into this kind of more religious painting style, but I don't know, I am kind of really drawn to it right now. Another weird thing about it is that they changed the elemental association for the swords and the wands. So the wands are kind of air, and the swords are fire. I don't see that, but actually it doesn't translate. If you read like the booklet for this deck, it doesn't translate into the meanings at all. So you can actually read it the way you want, however you prefer it. As you can see, I have put it back kind of in order, and it's kind of color-coded. I just love this deck. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Periods. It is chunky. Okay, next one is, let me see, the Dreams of Gaia. I don't think that I have to talk about this deck very much, just because a lot of you will know it and will love it. I actually haven't worked with it that much. It comes nicely gilded. I have no intention of trimming it. I like the art. I like the changes that she did. I still don't know how to pronounce her name, which is kind of embarrassing, honestly. Raven Phelan? Whatever. Oh, gorgeous. Again, I love the changes she did, including like the maiden and the mother and the crone and stuff like that, to kind of change the journey. So it is definitely a gorgeous deck. I haven't worked with it like enough to really give you my opinion now. But I know how much people love it. I will have to wrap it. I have the cloth in here, but I didn't wrap it for whatever reason. I don't know. Well, I will do that later. And off camera, of course, because you people have to endure my voice and everything for long enough, right? So, another deck that I got very, very, very recently. I made this box for it. I said that I would. And I know it's sacrilege because it's a self-published deck and I destroyed the box it came in. I know. But I kind of used parts of the box it came in. See? I didn't throw it away like completely. This is the Dust to Onyx tarot deck. Haven't really worked with it yet. I have to still work with it, but from just what I saw so far, I really adore this deck. I like the art in it, even though it is kind of collage-y, but it actually is a handmade collage. It's not as if it's done like later on digitally, but she painted all the images and using different kind of mediums and different paint types, and then she stuck on clippings of magazines to create what she had in mind, and I really, really love that. I also love the use of gilding on the deck, like in the deck, and the use of, you can see it nicely, of this UV foil, giving it kind of texture. Oh, texture was the word I was looking for, like for the Margaret Peterson tarot. Better late than never, right? So actually I really, really love what she did, and the book is phenomenal. So kudos on that. I cannot wait to kind of get the call for this deck or from this deck to work with it. I love the gilding. I've never seen a gilding like that before, because if you look at it, like, I cannot really show you right now because the light's hitting it the right way actually, but if you look at it in like a normal light, this is my working light up there, so it's a bit brighter, it does look like it's matte, and then you kind of shift it in the light and you realize how sparkly it is. So gorgeous, never seen that before. So yeah, this is the Dust to Onyx. I love it. I made this box. Don't hit me for it. Next one is the Hidden Waters Tarot. It's by Anna Turian, I think. I don't know, I always say Anna, so I simply cannot remember her last name right now. It comes, whoopsie, in this tin. Not like 100% happy with the tin, but okay. That's just the way it is. I don't really know if it's out of print or if there's another edition of this up. Cannot tell right now. I guess there will be another edition, but I don't know for sure. So the very special thing about this deck actually is that it really follows the creation or the lines of inkblot tests, like this Rorschach inkblot, inkblot, cannot talk, tests. So it is very, very much talking to your intuition, and you can see anything you want in those images, and you do see different things in those images in different readings, and it just is amazing to work with. I had a very visceral reaction to this deck when I unpacked it, like, for the first time. I still love it to pieces. I love the idea behind it, that it's really digging into your subconscious, really working with your subconscious and kind of dragging out responses. I love it. I love this one. So definitely not on my giving away list. Okay, putting that to the side. Next one, I love. Yoo-hoo! This is the Lost Code of Tarot. And it's just, I love this deck. It's kind of quirky, and it has a phenomenal humor to me in my readings. It did. And it just, I don't know. I used it, I started to use it when I was really sick. I had a very, very bad back. And had to kind of lie down for a bit. And so I was so frustrated at that time, and then this deck came and I started working with it in bed. And it just lightened my mood immediately. It has a very, very lovely sense of humor. It doesn't mind to be used for different things than just tarot readings. It just is lovely. I love it. I love this deck. I love that there are dragons for cards. So yeah. I mean, I love dragons in general. And it's just, look at those figures. I mean, they make you happy immediately. But you also can do very profound readings with it. So it's not as if it's just a joke or anything. It really reads beautifully. But it also has a very quirky humor. And it's just, I love it. I love this deck so much. I love this... the way that it's created. I love the story behind it. Like the book that comes with it is just hilarious in itself. So it's just amazing. Very, very well done. Okay, next one is one where I'm kind of disappointed. It's the Heart of Stars Tarot. I got it very recently because I gifted it to myself for Christmas. And I really thought that we would go along very well and that I would fall in love with it immediately, and I simply didn't. So it's on my probably trading list, because one of the things that I really find annoying about this deck actually is how, I have it in order, so let's keep it like that, how blurry the pictures are. There are so many layers of filters on top of it, and I really thought, wow, there's a lot of Lord of the Rings stuffs in there, so I need to get it. I love all the movies that are represented in this deck, and I don't know why I don't click with it, and for now I don't really have the feeling that I will click with it at any given point, and this is what makes me think about actually giving it away, because I know that people love this deck. I don't really know. I'm not disappointed in the deck. I have to make that clear. I'm not disappointed in the deck. I'm kind of disappointed with myself that I don't respond to this deck the way that I thought I would. So this is really, it's kind of frustrating a bit, actually. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do with it, actually. I'm not quite sure. Haven't decided yet. Okay, next one is another deck that is on my maybe trading list, and it's the Japari Tarot? Japarice? I don't have a clue how to pronounce it. I don't know. I actually cannot remember whether or not I trimmed this deck, to be honest. I definitely edged it, very colorful as you can see. I made this box for it. Although it came in a nice box, but it was a bit larger because the book had to fit in there as well. The reason why I think of maybe trading this deck, I don't know. I feel like I should give it a second chance, but it's just for whatever reason, I have trouble connecting with this deck and to get like really profound readings from it. I don't know. It's usually I'm quite intuitive with whenever I do readings. So I like decks that kind of spark something within me so that I respond immediately to whatever I see, so that I don't have to get a hold of the guidebook, actually. I rarely ever read the guidebook. Usually I read it once and then I put it to the side, and I rarely ever take it out again. And I felt like for this deck I actually had to kind of rely on the guidebook a bit more, which is weird because it's not as if it's very hard. Like the images are very, like if I look at the images now, I think that they are very easy to read, but for whatever reason I did not click with this deck yet. So I still hope I will at one point, because I can see the potential of this deck, but, well, we'll see. We will see. For now, I'll keeping it, and I will give it another chance, and then I will decide later on about it. Now there's another deck that I love. Love, 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 love. I don't really have to talk much about it. I don't have to introduce it to most of you. I should look at what I'm doing, right? Every once in a while, good to look at what I'm doing. So this is the Fountain Tarot. I love it, period. It is one of the most gorgeous, one of the most easy to be read tarot decks I own. I know people think, again, that it might be sacrilege, but this is just the way I roll. I edged it, I trimmed it. So, yeah, this is just how I am. I re-edged it, actually, because it came with a silver gilding that is much more beautiful than whatever I can do here. But I trimmed it, like, completely to just the images. And it's just, like, if you put it out like this, it just looks so stunningly beautiful together. So I just, oh goodness gracious, I love this deck. For whatever reason, I have the mages up front. Probably I didn't, well, at one point did a challenge where I needed to look at the mages. I love it. I love this deck. It's modern. It's very neutral in tone. It's not cold, but it's kind of, this is one of the only decks where I allowed extra cards to stay in the deck, actually. I usually don't allow for that. I put them out immediately, but in this case, the Fountain was allowed to stay. It's kind of, because it's so neutral, it kind of also neutralizes emotions a bit. Again, it's not cold, it's not, it's very compassionate still, but it kind of takes the edge of things, I feel like, which is sometimes a very, very good thing. So I don't mean that as a negative point at all. I actually really, really like it. And again, I love the Fountain Tarot. Next one is Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because I think everyone needs a Rider-Waite-Smith deck in their collection. Okay, I do. Not everyone does. It's the Centennial Edition. I trimmed it, I edged it in this kind of linen tone to go like a bit like antique looking to go with the cards. And it's just standard Rider-Waite-Smith. There's not much more to say about it. I love the kind of used look that came with the Centennial Edition. It's a bit muted in colors. It's a bit dirty looking. I really like that. I don't know. I like Rider-Waite-Smith decks to look like that. So I love if someone has like a standard Rider-Waite-Smith version but has used it so much to make it look like that. I love that even more. So I don't know why. That's just how I roll. This is, let me quickly look. You know what? I'm gonna make another pause. There are not that many decks still to come, so we're on kind of the last meters to the goal line. But I will stop here because otherwise my phone will shut down in a minute or so. So I will prevent that from happening, and I will be right back with part